Winter power outages can be challenging, especially when temperatures drop and staying warm and safe becomes a priority. Whether it's due to heavy snow, ice storms, or high winds, losing power in the winter can leave you feeling unprepared and vulnerable. That's why we've created this essential guide to the 10 must-have items for surviving upcoming winter power outages. These items will help you stay warm, keep your devices powered, and ensure you and your loved ones are safe during the unexpected. From backup power solutions to staying well stocked with critical supplies, we've got you covered. Before we jump into the list, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more helpful survival tips, gear recommendations, and guides to get you through tough times. Your support helps us keep creating content that prepares you for life's uncertainties. Now, grab a pen and paper or bookmark this video, because you won't want to miss these essential items that could make all the difference during a winter power outage. Stay tuned and let's get started. 1. Wool blankets and sleeping bags. When a winter power outage strikes, staying warm becomes a matter of survival. Without heat, you're left to fend off plunging temperatures, and the most reliable solution comes down to wool blankets and high-quality sleeping bags. Forget about flimsy fleece throws or paper-thin quilts, they won't cut it in extreme conditions. Wool blankets are a must-have because they provide superior insulation, even when damp, unlike synthetic materials that lose their warmth as soon as moisture creeps in. Military-grade wool blankets are your best bet. These are thick, durable, and expertly designed to trap heat, making them perfect for sustained outages during brutal winter weather. Sleeping bags are another essential. This doesn't mean grabbing any old bag that's sitting in your closet from last summer's camping trip. You need to prioritize sleeping bags designed for sub-zero temperatures. Look for trusted brands like Teton Sports or Alpine Mountaineering, which offer products built for extreme cold. These sleeping bags are engineered to keep body heat close and shield you from the chills that can creep through your home's walls as the outage drags on. A high-rated sleeping bag can mean the difference between surviving comfortably and a dangerous drop in body temperature. For maximum effectiveness, don't rely on either wool blankets or sleeping bags alone. Layer them. Start by wrapping yourself in a wool blanket, and then slide into a sub-zero sleeping bag. This combination creates an insulated cocoon, significantly reducing the risk of hypothermia. For families, layering these items ensures everyone stays warm, especially children, who are more susceptible to cold. Parents must plan ahead to have enough gear for each household member. It's not optional when lives are at stake. Failing to prepare with these items is a gamble you can't afford to take. Power outages can stretch on for days or even weeks during heavy snowfalls, ice storms, or blizzards, and no amount of wishful thinking will warm you up. Stocking wool blankets and sleeping bags now can save you from panic buying later, when shelves are empty and temperatures are already dropping. These are investments that weigh heavily on durability and function, not flashy designs or convenience. It's about survival, plain and simple. Keep a set ready to go for emergencies, pack them properly, and stow them in an easily accessible area. They're compact enough to store away without taking up much space, but their importance during a crisis is unmatched. When the power goes out, you won't regret having these life-saving items on hand. Wool blankets and sleeping bags should be foundational essentials in your winter survival kit. No excuses, no cutting corners. 2. Carbon monoxide detectors with battery backup. Carbon monoxide co-detectors with battery backup are a non-negotiable item for surviving any winter power outage. Why? Because if you're relying on alternative heat sources like propane heaters, wood stoves, or kerosene burners, you're inviting a silent, deadly threat into your home. Carbon monoxide is a colorless, odorless gas that can kill you and your family before you even realize there's a problem. A functioning co-detector is the only way to protect yourself. Without one, you are taking an unnecessary and reckless risk. During blackouts, standard plug-in detectors won't work, which is why you need a model with a reliable battery backup. Choose trusted options like the Kids C3010 or First Alert co-detectors. These brands are designed to perform when you need them most. Don't just assume any co-detector will do. Look for dual-purpose units that also act as smoke detectors. Fires caused by improper use of heating devices are another hazard during outages, so a dual-purpose unit can double your safety. Here's the blunt truth about co-detectors: they don't do you any good if they're not properly installed or maintained. Place them in any room where you're using an alternative heating method or near sleeping areas where they'll wake you up if co-levels rise. Don't cut corners or think having one detector in the house is enough. Multiple detectors increase your chances of catching a problem early, and their cost is negligible compared to the price of a human life. Don't forget maintenance. Test your co-detectors regularly. Yes, push that big button and replace batteries before winter starts. batteries degrade over time, and a poorly maintained detector is a useless piece of plastic. Check the expiration date of your units, as these devices don't last forever. If your detector is more than 5 to 7 years old, replace it immediately. Procrastinating here could cost lives. Power outages during the winter add enough stress to your life without the risk of carbon monoxide poisoning hanging over your head. Having properly installed, fully functional carbon monoxide detectors with battery backup ensures peace of mind. Don't underestimate how quickly coke can poison the air inside your home, especially when alternative heat sources are running continuously. Carbon monoxide is a real, invisible threat, but it's one that can be mitigated with preparation. Take action now to prepare your home. Don't wait until it's too late. There's no excuse for skipping this critical survival item. 3 hand crank radios with flashlights. When the power goes out, your smartphone won't save you for long. Batteries drain fast, and when they do, you're left with no way to access critical weather updates or alerts. This is where hand crank radios with built-in flashlights step in as lifesavers. These tools aren't just a nice-to-have, it's borderline irresponsible to go without them in situations of prolonged outages. What makes them essential? A reliable hand crank radio ensures you stay connected to AM, FM, and NOAA weather channels without relying on a charged phone or external power source. Models like the Midland ER31A0 or Kaito KA500 aren't just radios, they're multifunctional devices with built-in flashlights, USB ports for low-power charging, and even solar panels for alternative energy in case the crank gets tiring. Some of these devices can also serve as emergency SOS signalers, which could save your life in extreme scenarios. The flashlight feature is no small detail either. A dark house during a winter storm can be disorienting and dangerous. A reliable built-in flashlight keeps you navigating your space safely, even if all other light sources fail.
Don't want bonus functionality? Look for versions with high-lumen LEDs that double as lighting for larger areas or even as distress signals outdoors. Choosing the right-hand crank radio means considering a few no-brainers.
First off, make sure it has multiple charging options. Solar charging and USB support are excellent backups. Second, confirm it includes NOAA channels, as generic AM/FM alone won't cut it during weather emergencies. If harsh conditions hit, having real-time, accurate updates on storms, freezing temperatures, and road closures is non-negotiable. A pro tip: don't just buy one of these radios and toss it in a drawer. Keep it charged and test it regularly. Learn how to operate every function, from tuning to charging other devices. Messing around with unfamiliar equipment during an emergency won't go well. It's also wise to store it with your other emergency supplies like batteries, blankets, and a first aid kit. Simply put, no winter power outage kit is complete without a hand crank radio with a flashlight. The ability to stay informed, generate light, and potentially charge devices is too crucial to overlook. Ignoring this step could leave you in the dark literally and figuratively during the season's harshest storms. Get one, learn how to use it, and don't look back. 4 thermal emergency blankets. If you're preparing for winter power outages, thermal emergency blankets are non-negotiable. These blankets can literally save your life. When temperatures drop unexpectedly during a blackout, staying warm isn't just about comfort, it's about survival. Thermal blankets are designed to retain up to 90% of your body heat, which could be the difference between staying safe or suffering from hypothermia. Here's the reality of how they work. These blankets use heat-reflective material, originally developed by NASA, to bounce your body heat back toward you. They're lightweight, compact, and deceptively simple in design. But don't be fooled, this thin layer of metallic-looking material works, and it works well. Whether you're stuck in a freezing home with no heat or stranded in a car during a snowstorm, thermal blankets deliver when it matters most. What makes them essential? First, they're portable and take up almost no space. You can throw a couple in your emergency kit, keep one in the glove compartment of your car, and even stuff one in your pocket if necessary. Their versatility is unmatched. Use them as an additional layer inside a sleeping bag. Wrap yourself in one to conserve every bit of warmth. Lay one underneath your body for extra insulation from cold floors or frozen ground. Don't underestimate their utility, you'll be thankful you had them. That said, relying solely on a thermal blanket to keep warm without layering is a bad idea. These work best when paired with regular blankets. Think of them like an insulation booster rather than a standalone solution. They trap and reflect heat, but they are not designed for full-on comfort. This means you should use them smartly, combined with heavier fabrics when possible. Pro tip: don't wait for the weather to hit before you prepare. These blankets should already be on hand. Store them now in key locations. Put Put one in your car, keep a few in your home's emergency kit, and stash some extras in your backpack if you travel during winter. What's worse than freezing in a power outage? Knowing you could have been better prepared but didn't bother. Thermal emergency blankets are affordable, effective, and widely available. For something so critical, there's no excuse not to stock up. A single blanket might only cost a few dollars, but it could save you from paying an enormous price your health, or worse. When winter hits and the power goes out, these blankets won't just feel like a smart purchase, they'll feel like a lifeline. 5 wind-up flashlights and lanterns. When the power goes out during harsh winter storms, staying in the dark isn't an option. Wind-up flashlights and lanterns are essential because they don't rely on batteries, meaning you won't be scrambling for AA batteries in the middle of a blackout. These tools are powered manually using a crank mechanism that you can charge yourself. More importantly, they'll work every single time, no matter how long the outage lasts. The key reason you need a wind-up flashlight or lantern is its reliability. Unlike standard battery-powered devices that will fail when the batteries die, these models are designed to work indefinitely as long as you're willing to crank them. This feature is invaluable, especially in prolonged power outages when replacement batteries might not be accessible. Models like the Meko hand crank solar flashlight and Thorfire LED camping lanterns stand out for being tough, efficient, and versatile. Their designs ensure you're getting maximum light output while requiring minimum effort. When choosing the right wind-up lighting device, think about durability and features. The best options aren't just simple flashlights. High-quality models come with added perks like built-in radios to keep you informed during emergencies or emergency sirens that can alert others if you need help. Crank-powered models with USB charging ports are even better since they allow you to recharge small electronic devices like your cell phone. This can be a lifesaver if your devices run out of juice, giving you a way to contact emergency services or check on family when needed. To make the most of your wind-up flashlight or lantern, keep a few things in mind. First, learn how to use the crank mechanism effectively to avoid wasting energy while charging. Crank regularly, don't wait until total darkness to test it. Familiarity with your device ensures you're not fumbling during high-pressure situations. Second, invest in more than one. Placing them strategically in key areas of your home ensures you won't have to search for a flashlight in the dark when the lights unexpectedly cut out. Wind-up flashlights and lanterns are no-frills lifesavers in the face of a power outage. They don't require extensive maintenance, and they're ready to go at a moment's notice. Don't get stuck struggling with dead batteries, drained devices, or candles that burn out too quickly. These tools are dependable, practical, and designed to keep you going when winter throws the worst at you. Stock up now, because if you wait until disaster strikes, it'll already be too late. 6 heavy-duty plastic sheets and duct tape. When the power goes out and temperatures drop, heavy-duty plastic sheets and duct tape can mean the difference between manageable conditions and freezing misery. These items are essential if you're serious about staying warm in an emergency. Plastic sheeting acts as a barrier against drafts and serves to trap heat inside, especially when paired with duct tape to properly seal those heat-leaking gaps. Skipping this step? You've just invited the cold to settle in faster than you'd expect. To use plastic sheets effectively, focus on sealing off windows, doors, and any other areas where heat might escape. Go for at least 6 mm thickness. A thinner sheet won't cut it when the cold hits hard. The more airtight you can make your living space, the better. Don't hesitate to convert a small room into a makeshift insulated zone. By concentrating your efforts on one room, you'll create a smaller, warmer space to ride out the worst of the cold. You're not going to win a style contest, but you'll avoid the dangerous effects of prolonged exposure to freezing temperatures. This is about being proactive. Don't sit around waiting for the pipes to freeze. As soon as the power goes out and temperatures begin to dip, deploy those plastic sheets. Use the duct tape to secure every inch tightly around windows and doors. Layers matter. Double up if you have to. A little extra time spent taping can make a massive difference in keeping warm air inside. Here's the blunt truth: if you don't have these simple materials in an accessible location, you're setting yourself up for trouble. Keep your supplies organized and somewhere easy to grab, because the last thing you want to do in freezing conditions is dig around for them. Keeping them shoved in the back of a messy closet might delay your efforts during a time-sensitive situation. Another tip? Be creative. Use plastic sheeting to make a DIY insulated blanket or temporary enclosure around yourself or your loved ones if the temperatures become extreme. It's not fancy, and it's definitely not luxurious, but it could save your life. Underestimating how fast cold can seep into your home during a power outage is how you end up making life-threatening mistakes. Don't be that person. Bottom line, heavy-duty plastic sheets and duct tape aren't just nice-to-have items. They're survival tools. Without them, your home is going to bleed warmth and the cold doesn't care that you weren't prepared. Stock up now, practice using them if you're unfamiliar, and make sure you know exactly where they are before winter arrives. Surviving a power outage isn't about comfort, it's about keeping the cold out and preserving every ounce of heat you can. No excuses, get the supplies and be ready. 7. Insulated water containers. During a winter power outage, insulated water containers are absolutely essential. When temperatures plummet, water can freeze quickly, leaving you without drinkable water. This might be the last thing you think about during a crisis, but dehydration doesn't care about your comfort. Insulated water containers ensure that you always have access to liquid water, no matter how bitter the cold gets. Why is this important? Because frozen water is just as useless as no water at all. Without a reliable way to keep it liquid, you risk a situation where thawing frozen water becomes another survival task in a long list of challenges. It wastes time, energy, and can even be impossible if temperatures stay below freezing for prolonged periods. By investing in proper insulated water containers, you skip that hassle and guarantee access to one of the most basic survival needs. Not all containers are created equal, which is why using trusted, heavy-duty brands like Yeti Rambler or Thermos stainless steel bottles is highly recommended. These aren't your dollar store water bottles that will leave you high and dry or, in this case, frozen solid when you need them most. These are designed to withstand extreme conditions and keep your water at the right temperature for long periods of time. Cutting corners here is not an option. Going cheap could literally leave you with a block of ice instead of a life-saving drink. To make the most out of your insulated water containers, there are a few straightforward tips you need to follow. Before an outage, pre-fill your containers with hot water. The heat gives you a head start in fighting off freezing temperatures. Also, don't underestimate the power of insulation. Wrapping the containers in blankets, sleeping bags, or even towels can significantly slow down heat loss and extend the water's usability. Failure to plan for access to drinkable water can turn a manageable power outage into a dangerous situation quickly. You might think your tap water or other sources will suffice, but when pipes freeze or pumps fail during extended outages, those options are off the table. Insulated water containers eliminate these risks. They're tough, easy to carry, and effective, making them non-negotiable for every winter emergency prep kit. Don't leave your survival to chance. Insulated water containers are a simple, practical solution to a very real problem you will face when the power goes out. Add them to your list, make sure they're high quality, and don't forget to use every trick possible to keep them warm. Surviving harsh winter conditions isn't about luck, it's about being prepared. 8. Portable butane or alcohol stoves. When the power goes out this winter, you can't rely on electric stovetops or ovens to keep you fed or provide hot water for essential needs. That's why a portable butane or alcohol stove isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. Without a way to cook or boil water, you're left with cold meals and potentially unsafe drinking water, which is the last thing you want in freezing temperatures. These stoves provide an easy, compact solution to prepare food and drinks even when the grid fails. A good butane stove, like an Iwatani or Gason, is reliable, simple to use, and ideal for indoor or outdoor cooking. Just remember to keep areas well ventilated to avoid gas buildup. Butane stoves heat quickly and are highly efficient, perfect for whipping up a hot meal or heating beverages in minimal time. If butane isn't available, alcohol stoves offer another option. They're clean-burning, ultra-portable, and steady in performance. Fans of minimalism will appreciate how lightweight and simple alcohol stoves are to operate, making them a favorite for emergency preparedness. However, this point can't be overstressed. Plan ahead. Having the stove is half the battle, stocking enough fuel is the other. Butane cans and bottles of denatured alcohol won't do you any good if you don't keep enough on hand. Evaluate how many meals you might need to cook during an extended outage and stock fuel accordingly. The last thing you want during a snowstorm is to realize you're out of fuel for your stove. Always keep extra, because running out in an emergency is not an option. Safety is equally critical. Using these stoves properly could mean the difference between staying warm and fed or putting yourself in danger. Make sure you're in a ventilated area to avoid harmful gas buildup. Carbon monoxide poisoning is silent but deadly, so don't skip this step. Follow manufacturer safety guidelines whenever using these stoves. It isn't worth the risk of cutting corners. Your safety comes first. Being prepared with a butane or alcohol stove means you can face winter outages with confidence. You'll have the ability to cook, keep your family's morale up with a warm meal, and stay hydrated with hot drinks or boiled water. Don't get caught empty-handed. Take this essential piece of gear seriously and give yourself peace of mind for the upcoming harsh weather. Anything less, and you're gambling with how well you'll manage when the worst happens. 9 solar battery chargers. When winter power outages strike, staying connected is vital, and solar battery chargers fill that gap effectively. These devices ensure you're able to charge essentials like phones, small gadgets, or power banks when traditional power sources are unavailable. Unlike relying solely on generators or public charging stations, solar chargers give you independence. Power from the sun is free, so why not use it? They work especially well during daylight hours, allowing you to prepare for extended outages without much effort. The benefits are clear. Products like the Big Blue 28W solar charger and the Anchor PowerPort solar charger are compact, reliable, and straightforward to use. These chargers are designed with portability in mind, so you can place them in sunlight-rich areas like near windows or outside during the daytime. They're efficient, and in dire situations, efficiency matters. You don't want to be stuck with dead devices, unable to contact anyone for help or information. Phones are your link to updates, emergency services, and staying informed. Solar chargers ensure that connection doesn't break. If you don't plan ahead, outages can catch you off guard. And no, solar chargers aren't some luxury item, they're a necessity during unpredictable power cuts. Use them wisely by not just charging your phone but also juicing up power banks. Power banks extend your device usage even during nighttime when the solar chargers obviously aren't functional. Don't waste daylight hours, set up your chargers in the most well-lit areas to maximize their efficiency. Even in low sunlight, these devices still manage to absorb energy, though slower than usual. Plan smartly and micromanage how and when you charge to ensure no critical device goes flat. Overlook this, and you might find yourself with a dead phone, isolated from updates or help during freezing temperatures. Solar battery chargers aren't about convenience, they're about survival. Whether you're braving a light outage or dealing with prolonged issues from severe winter storms, having these chargers on hand reduces one major stressor. They're simple, easy to pack, and a no-brainer addition to your emergency kit. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. Don't wait until the outages hit to think of solutions. Stock up on a quality solar battery charger now and test it beforehand to ensure familiarity with how it works. When properly utilized, this tool can keep you connected, safe, and in control, even when winter wreaks havoc on power supplies. 10 dry firewood and reliable fire starters. If you think you can survive a winter power outage without proper firewood and reliable fire starters, think again. These items aren't optional, they're crucial, especially if your home depends on a fireplace or wood stove as a secondary heat source. When the power grid fails and temperatures drop below freezing, you can't afford to be unprepared. Dry firewood and dependable fire starters are your lifelines. They provide warmth, prevent you from freezing, and will likely save you a mountain of frustration when lighting a fire in an emergency. First things first, don't skimp on the quality of your firewood. Invest in properly seasoned hardwoods, such as oak, maple, or hickory. Unlike softwoods or improperly dried logs, these burn longer, hotter, and cleaner, giving you consistent heat when you need it most. Don't make the mistake of relying on whatever wood you can find at the last minute. Wet or unseasoned wood is practically useless, it won't burn well, will likely smoke like crazy, and will leave you shivering in disappointment. Plan ahead and stock up on seasoned wood well before winter storms hit. Now, even the best firewood won't do you much good without an easy way to light it. Reliable fire starters, like Duraflame fire lighters or wax-coated sticks, are non-negotiable. Forget about struggling with matches and scraps of paper, those are a gamble at best. Fire starters save you precious time and energy, especially when you're cold, stressed, and in no mood to fight with damp wood or uncooperative flames. Fire starters are small, affordable, and incredibly effective. There's no excuse not to have a stash of them ready to go. Storage also matters. Keep your firewood in a dry, accessible spot, preferably somewhere sheltered from snow and rain. A covered outdoor rack or a space in your garage works well. If your firewood ends up wet or buried under feet of snow, it'll be useless when you need it most. The same goes for your fire starters. Make sure they're stored in a waterproof container to protect them from moisture. It's simple common sense, but could make all the difference in an emergency. Finally, be realistic. Testing your fire setup in advance will save you headaches later. Practice starting a fire with your supplies before the power goes out so you know exactly what to do. In a power outage, it's not the time to discover that your firewood is too damp or your fire starters don't work. Preparation and redundancy are key. Winter power outages are harsh and often lasting. Dry firewood and reliable fire starters aren't just conveniences, they're survival tools. Without them, you're left cold, frustrated, and completely at the mercy of the elements. Take this seriously and stock up now. Your future, freezing self will thank you.